If you want to have healthy relationships with the people in your life, it all starts with this one thing. Don't watch this video. Instead, watch how your thoughts respond to what I'm saying. If you remember in my last video why you're not getting what you want, then you'll remember that to get what you want means you have to create the reality for what you want to enter. And you do that with your thoughts, which generate your feeling state, and your feeling state sets the stage for the reality you live in. The way you think about yourself will dictate the feeling state of the relationships you allow others to have with you. If you don't think very highly of yourself, then neither will anyone else. Someone else could shower you with praise and adoration, yet it will be meaningless unless you believe it yourself. How to have a healthy relationship with the people in your life all starts with this one thing. If you don't know what this one thing is yet, keep listening. To have a healthy relationship with the people in your life means that you must have a healthy relationship with yourself. What determines whether or not you have a healthy relationship with yourself depends on the thoughts you allow yourself to believe about who you are. If I told you that self-love was not a feeling, but a practice, and you told me, but it's so hard, that tells me you're in the practice of self-hate. Are you still listening? In my opinion, self-hate takes up more energy than the practice of self-love. So which one is actually that much harder? If you are in the practice of self-hate, then you will settle for relationships that are unhealthy because you are already accustomed to an unhealthy relationship with yourself. You might think that you can have a healthy relationship with someone else while you are in the energy of self-loathing, self-deprecating, and self-hate, but the truth is that you can't. You owe it to the people in your life to have a healthy relationship with yourself. If the people in your life are not supportive of you practicing self-love, then these are not people that you can have a healthy relationship with. If you're listening to what I'm saying, you'll hear that the vibrational energy you carry within your being will attract the vibrational reality in which you are living. It is at this point in the video where I must recognize those of you that are listening who believe themselves to have a very high level of self-love, yet attract unhealthy relationships into their lives. This is where I want you to listen to my words even more. If you believe that you are operating from a place of self-love, it may only be from the place of the emotional state of empathy based on the fact that you have deep levels of empathy for others. Yet what you might be missing is the secondary component of empathy, which is compassion. Compassion is the action behind your empathy. Compassion is the action behind your self-love. Compassion is what brings you to self-respect, dignity, and high moral values and ethics. Although you may have deep love for yourself and others, ask yourself when the last time was that you showed yourself compassion. And ask yourself, have I ever asked someone else to show me compassion? Have I ever felt the void of the act of compassion from others? If you've been asking others for compassion, the truth and the reality is that you don't actually have compassion for yourself. I speak about this from a place of personal experience. Upon reflecting on my own journal entries, 6 years ago, I remarked how upset I was when someone I loved wasn't giving me the compassion that I needed. And I was able to have the insight at that time to realize that, in fact, it was myself that wasn't giving me the compassion I needed. If self-love isn't a feeling, but it is a practice, then self-compassion is the action. So if you want to have healthy relationships with the people in your life, yes, it starts with having a healthy relationship with yourself. And as much as you might think you are practicing the art of self-love, you may actually be lacking in the practice of self-compassion. Self-compassion is what crushes self-hate. To make it clearer, let's talk about what self-compassion is not. Self-compassion is not self-pity. Self-compassion is not feeling sorry for yourself. Self-compassion is not feeling sad for yourself. Self-compassion is not just a feeling, it's also a practice. It is the practice of accepting yourself exactly the way you are. It is about holding space for yourself where you are in this moment right now. Compassion doesn't visit only when things are down and out. It's cultivated in each and every moment that you are alive until you become it. And what you are actually becoming is the self. The self that allows itself to feel without being shamed, judged, or guilted. The self that is secure, authentic, and real. This is the self that, with compassion and love, can engage in a relationship with another self that is compassionate and loving. Now, these things are fleeting. Let's be real about that. No one is perfect. Not everyone has or ever will reach a fully enlightened state. But we can experience moments, however long or short, of being in these pure, authentically real, and accepting of ourselves and others' moments. And when you're not in these moments, this is when you're able to catch yourself, and you catch yourself with the act of compassion. Compassion says, okay, that's all right. We were not being too kind to ourselves there, or we were not being very considerate of our loved ones there. Those moments do not define us as much as when we are conscious and aware of those moments. If you want to have compassionate people in your life, it starts with you being more compassionate and forgiving and open and loving to yourself. And not just loving to the good parts, but also to your wounded and unhealed parts. Then finding someone who can also be compassionate with their wounded and unhealed aspects allows them to be more compassionate with your wounded and unhealed aspects. You do not have to be fully healed to be in a loving and healthy relationship. You just both need to be willing to act with compassion as you both work towards healing with a compassionate intention. Intention is everything. Listen to these questions and listen to how your mind responds. Do you want a healthy relationship so that it will heal you? Do you want a healthy relationship so that it will make you feel whole? Do you want a healthy relationship so that you never experience pain again? Those are all unreasonable intentions to bring to this practice of compassion. Listen to the different perspective and listen to how your mind responds when I say you are already healing on your own. You are already whole within yourself. You are strong enough to feel pain again when it shows up on your path, because it will. The intention of a healthy relationship is to practice compassion with someone else. The intention of wanting a healthy relationship is so you can practice healing alongside someone else. The intention of a healthy relationship is to show you that you are capable of meaningful, painful experiences, because when you are in a healthy relationship, it is a sign that you have cultivated a sense of inner resilience and self-compassion. There may be a block you experience from your ego that tells you you are not worthy of a healthy relationship, that you do not deserve a healthy relationship. Your ego may be telling you that you are unlovable, and showing your self-compassion won't work. It's up to you to understand why you are blocking yourself from your own source of love. It's up to you to understand that by blocking yourself from your own source of love, you also block sources of love from anyone else. In this case, it may be true that you are too attached to your ego. You have become your ego. And to detach from them would be a pain in itself, because you have grown so accustomed to their presence that you no longer know any other way of self. The ego despises compassion. It only loves pity. The ego loves to pity you. That is the best you'll ever get from them. If you're ready to end the pity party, and if you're ready to commence the self-compassion process, you will know this will involve a great deal of resistance. The ego will fight you as long and hard as it needs to stay in charge. Your ego believes that it knows best, and you would be a fool to believe in anything else. So long as you remain in this toxic relationship with your ego, yourself, you cannot access what it is you want. If what you really want is a healthy relationship with someone else. It is at this time that you must meet your ego with the voice of compassion, not pity, not anger, not resentment, not judgment, pure love. Let them know their work here is done. Let them know that you're grateful for the time you spent together, but compassion is in charge now. And listen to what they have to say about that.